Hello, I'm Teresa Caveney with the New Ulm League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to democracy and citizen participation in government. One of the things that the New Ulm League has been doing in this community is hosting the New Ulm Cable Access TV Forum. That's what this program is. And today our guest is Laurel Stinson. Laurel will tell us about herself and about her background, and she'll also talk to us about the Grand Center for the Arts, which we'll also learn about today. So Laurel, welcome, and welcome to New Ulm.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. Thanks for the warm welcome from you and the rest of the community and from the League of Women Voters.
Well, you're welcome. So tell us about yourself. What's your background? Tell us about Red Wing. What brings you here?
Yeah, well, I grew up just outside of Red Wing. My family has an apple orchard there, so Red Wing and Lake City are right next to each other, right along the Mississippi, and I consider both of them to be my hometowns where I grew up. After I graduated from high school, I went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and I have a degree in theater from there. That was what I wanted to do. You know, growing up in a small town in a rural area, there was not a lot of people around who knew a lot about how to put on a show. And it's not...
New Ulm does.
Yeah. And, you know, there's always people around who want to, but there was very little technical knowledge and people to advise us and do those sorts of things. And I sort of decided to take that path because I really think it's important for everybody in all areas and all sides of towns to have people in their communities with that experience. And I'm really devoted to rural arts, and that's sort of how my journey started, was being that person who experienced what it's like to really want to do things and not have the outlet to do them.
Well, sounds like you're a good fit here for the Grand Center for the Arts. So tell us about the Grand. What does it do? What kind of programs does it offer?
Yeah, the Grand is a really great space and a really great asset to New Ulm, and that is what drew me here to take on this position as the executive director. Their mission is to enrich the community through arts and cultural experiences, but also to support local artists. And both of those sides of that coin are equally important to the Grand's mission, and that's one of the things that I also feel really strongly about. An arts center, especially in a town that only has a few arts and cultural organizations, really has to look at both things, providing local people with opportunities to explore and learn and play, and also the opportunity for professional artists to make a living.
And show their talents and wares, yeah?
Yes. And so we have everything that we do, all of our programming is dedicated to that mission. The Grand is also a historic building here in New Ulm, and so it was first restored to become the Grand Center in 2013. And there was historic preservation grants and a ton of work and fundraising and community action came together to create the Grand. And all of that community support is, you know, the foundation that the organization is built on. And what
it was a cornerstone.
Yeah. And how we are able to keep providing all of this great programming and outreach and all sorts of different things to the community.
Well, describe some of the programs.
So, we have so many. It's so exciting and it gives me so much to talk about. So the oldest program really at the Grand is the Grand Cabaret.
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah. So the Grand Cabaret is on the first floor of the building. It is a really great atmosphere, well-designed space with, you know, brick walls, and the original bar from the Grand Hotel was the front desk. It's really an amazing space with just a little stage. So we have live bands, a little bit of things like storytelling or stand-up comedy
poetry.
or poetry, that kind of a thing for that sort of small space.
Well, and listeners, if you haven't been to the Grand Cabaret, treat yourself. It's not huge, it's not too small, it's an intimate and very fun venue.
Yes, and we have drinks and a little bit of food, although not a full menu at this time anyway. But it is a really great space, and we are hiring cabaret servers if anybody out there is interested in applying to keep our cabaret functioning. And right now we have programming on Friday nights.
Got it. I know there's more music. Sunday, May 7th, huh?
We do. We have another series that takes place in the afternoons, and we have one coming up on Sunday, May 7th, and that concert will be Jacqueline Schwab. And we're really excited to bring her to New Ulm. She has worked on Ken Burns documentaries. She is a pianist and composer, and her music will be familiar to anybody who's watched those documentaries, and there'll be a little bit of time at the end of her performance to talk with her about her experiences and her stories and her process, and that's also, I think, a really exciting opportunity to learn more about her and get to meet her.
Now, is that in the cabaret or is that on second floor?
It will be up on the second floor. That's currently where our grand piano is located.
Oh, yes.
So it will be in the multipurpose space on the second floor.
Tell us about the visual arts that we can enjoy at the Grand.
Yeah, we have a gallery, which is also on the second floor of the Grand. You can get there when you walk in the front door just by going straight up the stairs. It's on the left. Or if you'd rather use the elevator, you can walk through the gift shop or the cabaret to the back where the elevator is to take that up to the second floor. It's a little bit scary to come in the building right now because of all the scaffolding, but it is open and accessible for anybody who wants to come in. The gallery on the second floor, we program about 11 shows a year, and
Amazing.
shows last 3 to 4 weeks, and we have a variety of different artists and types of work for people to look at. What's in there right now and will be coming down this week is the Mankato State University Installation Art exhibit, and we do that every year.
Yep, I've enjoyed them in the past.
It's a different exhibit every year. This one is really fun, and I really enjoy it, and I think that's an exciting thing to look forward to every year, to see what the students come up with and how they make use of that gallery space. Following that exhibit, our next exhibit for the next few weeks will be a high school art exhibit. So students will be submitting their art for a show of young people's arts in the gallery, which is a great opportunity for young and just starting out in their artistic lives.
And are these New Ulm schools or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, local students.
Cool. Very nice.
So, and then the show following that is a show called The Queer Experience, and it will be also local artists, but we are opening that up to not just New Ulm, but the whole area. We're doing the show in partnership with the Carnegie Arts Center in Mankato and the St. Peter Arts Center and another local art center, and we're all offering times for people to come and create art in our spaces to make a piece of work to go in that show. So the Grand is open our regular office and business hours for that. If anyone is interested in coming in, we'll have some supplies for folks to use to create some art on site. If you don't have a spot at home or another place where you like to work, you can come work in our space.
And what are the hours?
Our hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 4.
Okay, I guess I didn't know that it was all most of the week. It's not quite the whole week, but so you're saying that artists can come during that time?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's when we'll have staff there. The gallery will be open and the gift shop will be open, and we'll also have a space open for creating work for that show.
And tell us about the gift shop.
The gift shop is a unique opportunity for local artists to sell their work. A lot of artists don't have a location to have their own store, so they can bring their art to the Grand if they're a member and sell their art in our gift shop. So we have a wide variety of artists with work in there. We have ceramics, we have jewelry, we have prints, and from our printmaking studio and from other printmakers, we have photographs and paintings. We have a little section of books by local authors. It's a great place to come and find a gift with a local connection.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, tell us more about your programming. I know you have a children's program too.
We do. We have an art education program, and we have children's learn to paint classes.
Oh, okay.
And we have some other opportunities throughout the year for children's classes. The big thing we have coming up is our summer camps, our creativity camps. We have taking place in June and August, and then we have a fiber arts camp that will happen in July.
And is that on site?
It is on site. We have teaching artists who are planning some really fun projects for the students. We have younger kids in the mornings and older kids in the afternoons during
Nice.
those creativity camps. And the fiber arts camp is more for high school or older students, and to learn from local fiber artists, and do some sewing and some creating of things with fabrics, and learn about those careers, and also have fun to create some items.
Who leads those? Are they community artists? Is it you? Is it colleagues?
Yeah, it is community artists. The fiber arts camp we do in partnership with 4-H. And so that
Nice.
it is geared towards helping 4-H, people who want to create projects for the fair or for their purposes to learn some of those skills and opportunities. And it's to provide those opportunities to everyone else as well. So you don't have to be a 4-H member to attend that camp. It's because it's through the grant.
Nice.
Yeah.
What other programming do you have that I'm missing?
So much. It's so surprising how much we have going on. We have an outreach program where we send teaching artists out into the local community to nursing facilities and places like that to lead art with
Wow,
with
I didn't know that.
groups of people to do that. We have an art therapy program. So we have twice a month. We have sessions, one for middle school students and one for adults, for people to come and create art for art therapy. And what's really, I think, a great thing about that program is art therapy is not about learning skills. It's not about creating a finished product. It's not about learning how to sell art or anything like that. It's purely for the benefits that you get from creating something, and people who've experienced trauma or are grieving or have things that they really want to work out through using their
Expression.
hands. It's really a great thing for them, and there is no need to have talent or think that you do to create things, and that's what art therapy is about. There's no prerequisites. Everybody can come as they are and make things.
You can color outside the
and,
lines.
yeah, and experience the benefits of that. And we're really hoping to get some grant funding to be able to expand that programming in the fall,
Very good.
because we feel like it's a real need in the community. We have our cellar press
Yes.
space as well at the Grand. The basement of our building is a letterpress and printmaking studio. And if you've never been down there before,
It's very, very unique.
I recommend coming to check it out. We have all of these antique presses that have either been donated or purchased by the Grand and fixed up and repaired, and all kinds of metal type and all the inks and equipment and paper that you need to do printmaking and letterpress. And I took my first class a few weeks ago
Oh, good for you.
and learned how to we made some greeting cards with whatever saying you wanna create. I chose a quote from The Art of War.
I'd like to see that.
And you can, learn how to use all the equipment. If you go through a series of classes and the safety training, then you're qualified to do open studio time in Cellar Press, which is when you can come in and just with no
Supervision
Yeah.
or class.
no expectation about what you'll create or what you'll do, and be able to use that equipment to create whatever you want to make.
It's a wonderful space, and it does ooze creativity. Maybe it's because there were some really enthusiastic, absorbed artists when I was down there, but it's a very nice space.
Yeah, it is. It's a great space. And I learned recently that letterpress and printmaking is a big part of the deaf community, because the machines are noisy, and that doesn't
Bother
matter
them.
when you're part of that community. So we hope to reach out to everybody and encourage them to come and use that space. And
Very good.
yeah. We have also artist residencies that use that Cellar Press and printmaking studio pretty extensively. We have 2 spaces at the Grand that are residential kind of spaces, like Airbnbs, an apartment and a studio, and we use that apartment to host artists in residence. For several weeks at a time, they come and create art in our space, and usually there's a community outreach component of each of their residencies where they'll teach a class, or they'll give a talk, or do something
Have
like
an
that
exhibit.
about their art. And so I recommend that people keep an eye out for those events. Those are a really cool opportunity to learn from a real working artist in our community.
Do we have some artists in residence now, or will we have?
We don't have any right at the moment, but we do have 2 more residencies coming up this summer.
Great.
So
It's an opportunity for us to learn.
yes, that's really exciting. And those Airbnb spaces are also available for the public when we don't have artists in residence in them. So if you want to stay at the Grand for a weekend and enjoy our music and the cabaret and the gallery and take a class, or even just enjoy New Ulm, those are on Airbnb if you look us up.
And those are on the 3rd floor then?
Yes, on
Got
the
it.
3rd floor, which also hosts the German Bohemian Society. Their library is up there as well.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Great. Any other programs you want to tell us about?
That's so many.
It is.
We do have some things coming up this summer that are fundraising events, or just for fun kind of events that are, just one-off sort of things. One will be, we're looking forward to doing a fundraiser at the Art Park this summer. We're asking everybody to save the date of July 15th for our Art Park. We're calling it American Graffiti
Oh, cool. Good
fundraiser.
idea.
Yep, and we'll have some graffiti artists there to do demonstrations. There'll be opportunities to create art, and we're still in the planning phases, so there's going to be a lot of fun activities.
Music.
Yeah, there'll be music, maybe food. We don't know exactly what it's going to all look like yet, but it's going to be fun.
So one little program, little, is the world's littlest museum. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have a display out in front of the building called the World's Smallest Museum, and this was a new program that we started during the pandemic because it is a way for people
I do
to
remember that.
to come and experience some art outdoors, because it is outside our building. You don't have to come in or any of those sorts of things. You can view it from the sidewalk, and it's very small. It's in an old fire hose box, and right now we have an exhibit in there of tiny paintings of masterpieces, and that's been a really popular exhibit. And I really encourage everybody, if you're walking by or if you're downtown for another reason, to stop by and check it out.
I have to see it. The write-up in the journal made it look so appealing.
It is really fun, yeah. And that's always there. We have rotating exhibits for people to check out anytime they want, whether we're open or not.
It's a
there.
24/7 type of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is admission to the Grand free? Tell us about membership.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Our music on Friday nights is free. We fund that with grants and donations. So anybody who wants to come and enjoy the live music on a Friday night can just pop on by. Music starts at 7. Usually the doors open at 6:30. So there's no requirements for that one, but we do encourage people to drop a $1 or $2 in the donation
Tips
box.
and donations are appreciated.
And to tip our staff. That's how we are able to keep providing the music. Some of our events are ticketed. The Jacqueline Schwab concert will have a ticketing fee, and there's a reduced cost on those tickets if you're a member. Individual memberships right now are $35, so that's a really reasonable price for all of the things that you have access to at the Grand. And gallery shows are free and open to the public. We have receptions on the first Friday nights of those exhibits, where we usually have a little bit of snacks and wine to go along with viewing the art.
I've been to a few of those openings. They're fun.
And you get to meet the artists.
Yeah, it's special, we feel.
It is a fun time, and that is completely free as well. A lot of our classes and things we do have a registration fee for, and you can find all that information on our website. We have a newly redesigned website, www.thegrandnewulm.org. And so any information you need about what things cost or when things are scheduled for, you'll find it there.
Laurel, thank you. Thanks for coming to New Ulm and joining our community as the Grand's executive director. I encourage listeners to join the Grand. To me, it's a little jewel in the community, and the programming is diverse. I love Friday nights. I also really appreciate some of the openings, and the smallest museum was definitely an upper during the pandemic. I'm glad it's still there. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Stephen, how did we normally end it?
You can say thank the viewers for watching and change it.
Oh, I forgot that.
You can just do it again and I'll just cut it.
Okay. Well, thank you for making this presentation and telling us about the Grand, which is a jewel for the community. We really appreciate your moving to New Ulm and joining this community. And we thank the viewers for being part of NewCat, and we encourage you to stop by the Grand and become a member. Thank you. All right. There was that weird part where I stumbled, and I can't remember what it was over, but
He'll fix it.